there's more that you want in life, especially financially, you just got to reach out and do it. Welcome back to Kevin Navigates. Today, we're diving into how you can start a scalable side hustle. This is your roadmap to success. I've been through this process several times, and each side hustle that I've done has dramatically increased my lifestyle, knowledge, skills. When I was younger, in high school, I used to split wood, deliver to my teachers, stack it, and it was cash money. It was a great side hustle. That's back when I was younger. Today, I'm not doing that physical work. When I was in high school, I also would cut grass. And my dad had a big shop. I learned how to weld just to earn income. Actually, my first side hustle started, we would go to racetracks all the time. I was about 11 years old. I would walk up and down the stands selling brochures. And I'll never forget, it was 50. The guy would hand me a stack of them and I would go out. I better have the right amount when I got back or it came out of my pocket. I learned about money. Each hustle, I learned new skills, boosted my confidence, brought me a little bit more income. So let's dive into how you can do the same. The first question is, why do you want to start a side? You could have gotten laid off. It's just the mundane everyday. You have an interest. You just want something fresh, or you need $200 for this or $1,000. One of my mindsets always has been, what can I do to get that? If there's more that you want in life, especially financially, you just got to reach out and do it. And one of the most enjoyable ways to do that is taking an interest, skill, knowledge, or something that you've accumulated over time that someone's willing to pay for, and do that. I recommend to sit down and go through all the things. I started with things that I really enjoy. I pretty much took every hobby that I had and turned it into some type of business. It's not just about extra income. It's about leveraging what you know, creating opportunities and growing. Home-based side hustles are powerful because they fit into your schedule. You don't have to work all the time. You determine when you start and stop. And you can start really slow. You don't need a lot of money. A lot of times it can be just using your hands or your mind or knowledge. It's amazing what people will pay you to do. You don't have to quit your job. You can just do it when you have time. The tax advantages, home office, when you travel, your expenses. Everybody needs record keeping and a tax professional to help you out. If you document your expenses, you can write off so many things. One thing, don't want to under-report your income. The IRS doesn't like that. They might just what is an expense or how much percent to do. I do not recommend under-reporting. Report every dollar that you make. It's just the smartest way. When you run a side hustle from home, again, there's tax benefit, there's more tools. One of the hustles that I have right now, and I really don't like calling them hustles, a side business or side interest that I have is I build boats. And one of the great things about building boats is I love to work with my hands. I love to create. I'm using my mind. I'm using my hands. I have spare time. It's a great release, especially stress reliever. Or maybe it's baking. It could be that you really like making cakes and cookies and you like being creative. You got some of the nicest copper pots and pans out there and your side hustle paid for all of it. It's really a great way to make you feel good. Just up your investment in yourself. I do that all the time. One thing about it is that you learn new skills. One of the businesses I have is I do project management. I'm a independent 1099 person for companies. I come in and do a project, spend the money every year, and I go to trade shows. I go to continuing education. I visit other construction technique sites. A lot of times around vacations. We went to Charleston recently, and one of the things that I really have been interested in and have done some historical restorations is downtown Charleston. A portion of my trip is right offable because I took a tour of Charleston and looked at the building technique and learned about that time period, because I've actually done projects in my local area in the same time period. It's just a great way to improve your skills. One of the other side hustles you may have or side businesses, something that you're very passionate. Back when I was in high school and college, I would referee. I played lacrosse and I would go ref games. My neighbor across the street, he's a college ref. He does it on the side. Actually makes really good money doing it, and he enjoys it. He enjoys being out there. I coached high school sports, rec sports, did all types of camps, and most all those things I got paid to do. And now I actually do it myself. I don't necessarily do it for the money. I do it because of my children. It gives me time to be out there. And a lot of times they don't have to pay because you're the coach. My wife does the same thing as well. It's just a great way to spend time. You can make it how you want this side hustle or side business, or even recreating yourself in a career. And learning about boats and being on the water, my love for crabbing and fishing, I would crab and fish every chance I got. I learned that I could go fish and crab and sell them. I remember in high school, I would get on my school bus with a cooler and I'd set the cooler in the office. The administration and counselors and teachers would come down, and it was an honor system. I had an envelope and I would write the price on it, and they would take the crab and fish out and take the cooler back on the bus. Also, being a lacrosse player, I would string sticks. I would sit down at lunch. I got paid $10 a pocket to string lacrosse sticks, and you get very proficient at it. And of course, my love for fishing, I would mate on boats, which turned into me getting my captain's license, and I traveled as a boat captain for many years. I really dove into commercial fishing, sport fishing. I did yacht deliveries, but again, it was a passion of being on the water. I worked in boathouses, working on boats, building boats. I can say I've been doing that for 30 years. So to fish all over the world, following a passion that I love. I do caution sometimes passions can turn into obsessions, which can turn into burnout. So you got to be careful with that. And I know guys today that their passion, it's their full-time job. That's what they do. They love it and they keep doing it. That's what makes them get up every day. So I've taken my experience in different things, and that's what this segment is about, looking at what you have done throughout your life, whether you have worked in a government job or you have worked for a small business. You are an expert in something, and whatever that something is, somebody is willing to pay you your time to do that. I recommend that as an entrance, and put a twist on it to keep investing, to keep growing, and just hone skills in many different ways. When I worked as a consultant, it taught me how to listen, listen to the client, listen to what they want, negotiation, patience. Sometimes what you want, when you want it, how you want, you have to pull yourself out, put yourself in someone else's position and really look at it from different angles. And having that skill to do that, I learned from my really side hustles, because my actually working career I felt was boring. It was always what I did on the side, doing multiple things. That's what I'm trying to do here, is encourage and help people develop that inner thing. I started this YouTube channel motivated for several reasons. One was health, one was wealth. And I took my skill set, and I'm in my 50s, so I'm not out there going to be doing landscaping, grass cutting, commercial fishing, backbreaking stuff that I used to do. I hope to think I'm a little bit smarter and I'll use my brain a little bit more than my hands, because I have plenty of scars on my hands from using them, but never being afraid to work. And if it's enjoyable work, it's really not working. And I can't recommend enough to really do a personal inventory and figure out what you're good at. If you don't know what you're good at, reach out to me. I'm going to develop a course on how to build a side hustle, how to do that inventory. Ask yourself questions, ask other people questions. There's so many different things. I was talking to someone earlier about baseball cards, and they trade baseball cards. There's value in all kinds of things. It's just a great way to increase your income. Each of these side hustles can be scalable. Each one gave me confidence, skills, income, tax benefits. It's great. Hustles you can start from home, and there's many of them. You can bake, cook, using the internet, using the computer, set up a studio, build and make. People want to buy that stuff. Online consulting is one. Use your expertise in business, finance, personal development, help others. There's platforms out there like LinkedIn, Zoom. It makes it so much easier. I can remember I would fish up and down the coast from Delaware all the way down in other countries. Banking was so much more difficult back then. Today, it's so much easier. The internet, apps that we have on our phones, and the technology that we have has made side hustles so much more attainable. It's about control. You either are a sheep or a shepherd. Many people want to be told what to do, when, how, and I bet there's some place inside of you that that's not you either. Having the flexibility to do what you want, when you want, how you want. You don't put a limit on how much you can make. It was funny because I take everything back to being a boat captain and fishing, and people always say, how did you get from here to here to here? When you get in your car and leave your driveway, road take you wherever you want to go. And for many people, that's great. You turn left here, turn right, stop to wherever you want to go. When you're a boat captain or you're out in the water fishing, you're looking at all the signs, and Mother Nature's telling you which directions to go. It could be the current, it could be the sun, it could be storm cloud. And there are no road maps other than mark, but a lot of my time was spent in the ocean. There's not as many road markers or navigational aids in the ocean. So let's say you leave an inlet and you're going to fish in a day. You basically have a path of about 180 degrees that you can run hours course, or in any directions or multiple directions or multiple days or even weeks, and never see a stop sign or a stoplight. And you start to use your own self-navigation to do that. And that's the skill is to learn to do a side hustle, is learning your own self-navigation and navigating yourself for a better life, more money, more freedom, not being a slave. Some scalable tips on how you can do this is you can take your knowledge and you can pack it together and you can do digital courses or ebooks for passive income. That's why I'm doing this channel. One of my goals is to develop a digital course on how to do what I'm talking about, the steps involved to start your side hustle, develop it, and skills that you need and shortcuts along the way. You can offer writing, graphic design, bookkeeping, and there's all kinds of platforms. You got Fiverr and Upwork, and there's just, if you really enjoy it, you want to scale it, then have others work for you instead of you working for somebody else. You become the shepherd and you hire some sheep. And one of the best things to do is that when you hire somebody to come on, is that you invest time, energy, and effort into them and give them knowledge. A lot of other boat captains never want to tell you where they fished. They never want they caught the fish on. They never wanted to, and my mindset was completely different. My mindset was, I will tell you everything that I know. I will tell you how I did it, when I did it, what I did, everything. Then it's on you to make the decision. Are you going to take what I gave you with the success that I got and the struggles that it took me to get to that success? Are you willing to do that to be successful yourself? Or are you going to try to recreate the wheel and do something else? I'm not saying that my way is the best way or only way to do something, but if you have success in that, why recreate it? When you copy something, that is one of the greatest forms of compliment, because if you copy it, it means that it has had work, it had value to it. So again, I feel that being upfront, honest, and sharing is a good way. I started a YouTube channel. I am trying to grow. I'm trying to learn to edit. I'm trying to learn technology. I'm trying to podcast and hone skills that I didn't have. I'm hoping to turn this into my latest side hustle or my next career. There's all kinds of ways I can earn from this and scale it. There's only one me, but I can put my knowledge into courses and put it out in the web, whether it's YouTube or Teachable, that I'm trying to help learn with me. There's all kinds of e-commerce and digital products. There's Etsy and Shopify. One of my really good friends, he makes surfboards and paddle boards and things like that, and he would digital files and have someone cut it on a CNC router. And I said, I did the research. I went out, we talked about it. He's like, oh, I don't know if I want to spend the money. Anyways, he ended up buying it. I helped him put the router together, and now he has an employee that cuts the blanks and they do the glassing and everything. From having that CNC router machine to cut his surfboard blanks and paddleboard blanks out, he has offered other opportunities because he can also cut out with it. So he's using that machine to cut out things that are sold on Etsy, or he'll buy files off of Etsy and make things. In conversations with him, he was doing things for macrame and cutting out frames for them. So you never know where your side hustle can take you. Automate as much as you possibly can. Virtual assistant. I have gone to many conferences to meet other people doing YouTube. One of the mentors that I definitely taken a lot of pages out of his book on this endeavor. He has a virtual assistant in the Philippines. I found out that a lot of the videos sent out are edited overseas. The technology allows you to do things you never could before. With side hustles, a lot of businesses will outsource. For example, my side hustle, my main business being a project manager, I identified the fact that there was an overabundance of skilled help in the construction industry. And I've had a construction background my whole life, whether it was boats or houses or commercial. And then I have an investing background to go on top of it. I understand money, how to build things and milestones and how. So I pitch to builders that you give me an email address. It looks like I work for you, but actually I charge you an hourly rate for this. Whatever client I'm working with, they think that I'm actually working for you, and the rate at which I charge them, they put a percentage on that because that's in the new rate in which they charge. So they actually make money off of me for every hour that I work. And as a 1099 employee, if work gets slow, they can say we don't have any projects. They don't have to worry about a health insurance cost. They don't have to worry about benefits, all those things. It works really well for them. They like it. I like it, and it keeps everybody everybody happy. Scalable, if that was something that I wanted to do, all I have to do is hire people and then I could scale it myself. Again, talking about home building, if you're a carpenter or if you are HV, a lot of times you can take the skills that you have in that, whether it's building or making something or repairing, and you can turn it into a side hustle as well. It's just anything that you can think of. There's ways to make money of it. Let me dive a little bit deeper into tax advantages of home-based. I've kind of talked about this a little bit. Home office space, your internet, your business supplies, your car. Marketing is a big one. A lot of times I'll go out to lunch or dinner or do activities. Those are all write-offable expenses. The cameras, the lights, the computer screen, the desk, all write-offable expenses. I had to take the money from a W-2 job taxed at anywhere between 28 to 30%. That's a big deal because I'm saving 30% because I'm not paying taxes on the things that I'm buying. I'm using the money that I earn from that hustle to reinvest into it. And the equipment can depreciate over time. It allows me to keep upgrading my equipment over time because as the more money that I make and as the side hustle grows, I need more tax advantages or write-off expenses. And a lot of times, many people do this, is that National Home Building Show in Vegas. I'll go out there for a week and spend my whole time there, and it gives me a great write-off at the end of the year. Again, there's a lot of tax advantages that can do that. Part of your rent, mortgage, utility cost, maintenance costs on things, maintaining your car payment, notebooks, pens, printers, all these deductions, they reduce your taxable income. One of the things always told to me was it's never about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. That's never more true in today's world, especially with inflation. You want to keep as much money as possible. And one of the least tax efficient way or one of the least efficient ways to keep your money is to work for someone else and pay taxes. It will eat you up. Between inflation and taxes, your money, we're in a debt-based system. There is no store of value in a dollar bill. Because every day that you hold that dollar bill becomes worth less over time because of inflation. And to make my point, you go back 100 years and look at what a dollar paid or what you could get for a dollar back then, and you look at what a dollar gets you today, it's about 99% less than what it did in 100 years. So it takes so many more dollars. One of the things that you talk about side hustles is I've been around many business owners. A lot of individuals think about dollar and they don't think about percentage. And one of the things that clicks over when you start as someone that's doing a side hustle or your own business is you start to think in percentages. That switch in mindset is how you can really start to earn a lot of money. There's people that you need to have on your team, good tax professional to keep you out of trouble, especially the IRS, knowing what you can't write off, and do some planning, banking relations, knowing how to get money when you need it. A side hustle isn't just a way to earn, it's a smart financial strategy with tax benefits. Here's some actionable steps you can do to get started. How do you start your home-based hustle? Identify your skills or passion. Write down 3 to 5 things that you're good at or love doing. Research and validate your idea. Check if people are paying for what you're offering. Google, ChatGPT, Fiverr, LinkedIn, and do that. Number 3, set up a business. Create a simple plan, register your business, come up with a name, start taking advantages of your tax benefit. Number 4, market yourself. Upwork to find your first client. Build and scale. Use your earnings to invest in tools, automation, training to grow your business. Starting a scalable side hustle from home, it's one of the smartest things that you can do. You'll earn extra income. You're going to gain all types of skills. You get the benefits, tax advantages. It can save you thousands of dollars. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. Opportunities are everywhere. You just need to take time to look, listen, and learn. I've done it many times in my life. I've grown as a person and as a professional. What's stopping you from starting your side hustle? Let me know in the comments what side hustle you're exploring. I'm here as a resource to help you. Don't forget to like or subscribe if you like this content. Hit that bell for more tips on navigating life. Build some income streams, achieve some financial independence, and start today. Don't put it off. Start businesses, invest money, be kind to yourself, and be healthy.